Hi guys, so I'm here to give my breastfeeding tips for success. If you see me looking down, it's because I have my notes written down. But first I want to start off saying that I'm not an expert thing, but I do have a lot of good information to share that can help you be successful with your breastfeeding journey. So my first tip is that when you make the decision to breastfeed, you're gonna get a lot of different feedback from people. Like some people that don't have a full understanding just of breastfeeding, some people that maybe tried it but had a bad experience. So my first tip is actually to not listen to all these people that did not have a successful breastfeeding journey. So if someone's coming to you and telling you whatever, don't let it deter you from your decision to breastfeed your child and give them the best possible nutrition ever. So, we all know that there's so many benefits to breastfeeding, and just don't let, what people are saying change your mind about it. So my next tip is to seek help from the very beginning. So if you haven't had your baby yet, when you go to the hospital to deliver, there should be a lactation consultant at the hospital, and your nurse should be able to also help you. So even if you've had a baby before and already breastfed, there's always more to learn. The lactation consultants are there to help. That's their job, is to help you breastfeed successfully. So, use the help that they provide. And a lot of times you can actually reach out to them even after you're discharged from the hospital, because sometimes your milk doesn't come in till a couple days after you've had the baby. And that's when a lot of questions can start, because once you go home and you've got this new baby and now you've got a ton of milk coming in, your boobs are full, like up to your chin, and that's when, things can just start going left. Another tip that I have is do skin-to-skin contact immediately after birth. So research shows that it helps to establish a bond in that, and the faster that you get your baby on your skin and get them to feed after birth, the better. And that's something that if you haven't had your baby yet, you can put that in your birth plan, that I want skin-to-skin contact immediately after birth. Babies come out hungry, as far as my experience, so they are ready to go. They must be working up an appetite during that delivery process, because when they come out, they are hungry. So this is probably the most important thing that I want to tell everyone about breastfeeding. It does not hurt. You heard that correctly. It does not hurt if you do it the right way. And that's the hard part about it, is learning how to do it the right way. You have to get the baby to latch on the right way. When the baby latches on the right way, you don't feel pain. Now, initially, right after birth, when you start breastfeeding, your uterus is still contracting to try to get back down to size. On top of that, immediately after birth, you are given Pitocin in your IV to help contract your uterus so that you don't bleed. So it's increased with breastfeeding, the cramps that you will get. It is nothing compared to the feelings that you just had from popping out a full-size baby. You just went through labor. Some cramps is not going to be that bad. Plus, it's now after you've had the baby, you can take some, most likely they will prescribe you some ibuprofen. And if that's not working, they can also prescribe you Percocet. So my doctor told me that it works the best if you take them around the clock, like for those first couple days. So usually you can take one like every 6 hours, the other one maybe every 4 hours or so. So if you continue to take, you know, because they'll be ordered as needed. So just try to take them, like don't try to wait until the pain comes back full-fledged before you ask your nurse for it again. And you'll go home with a prescription for it. But I really didn't even need it for that many days. I'd say maybe 2 more days out of the hospital, maybe 2 to 3 days after I left the hospital, I still continued to take probably just the ibuprofen. And it was fine. I don't know what to compare it to if you're not breastfeeding and you just are, your regular uterus is contracting without the added Pitocin or whatever. I don't know how that feels, but I can tell you that from the breastfeeding perspective, it does not make it that much worse. So about the latching, it's important that they open their mouths as wide as they can. And you always bring them to your breast instead of like you leaning down and giving the breast, like stuffing your breast in their mouth. They open their mouth super wide and get on your breast. And when you sit down to breastfeed, it's very important for you to be comfortable because you can be sitting there for a while. So a good thing to remember is detach and relatch. So if the baby like grabs onto your boob and it hurts, if they did not get a good latch, do not sit there and suffer through it. What you can do is put your pinky finger in the side, like just slip it through the side of their mouth, and like it will break the suction, and your nipple will just slide out. Do not try to pull your nipple out while the baby has grabbed on there. That will hurt and that will cause damage to your nipple. So what you do, like I said, you put your pinky finger inside their mouth and you will actually feel like the suction break and your nipple can just like easily just fall out, slide right on out. And just wait until that baby opens up their mouth the right way and try it again. So always, always, always make sure that they latch on the right way. Don't let that baby be lazy and just, you know, go like this and just suck your nipple in. No, it's not a straw. It does not work that way. And that will hurt, which breastfeeding should not hurt. Another thing that I learned is that after your baby has fed and your nipple comes out, it should not look like a lipstick. That means that the baby wasn't latched on properly, and you can start to get like, I guess kind of like blisters on there from them sucking in a way that they're not supposed to. So the latch is so important. You know, it really can make you or break you. When people talk about like bleeding nipples and all that stuff, it's really because the baby is not latching on right. And it can be frustrating because, you know, your baby can be crying or, you know, really trying to get it and you're trying to get it. And, you know, eventually you might just say, okay, whatever, and just let them. But don't do it. If you start off training them the right way from the beginning, you should not have to worry about it. Like it's like a reward system. They know, okay, if I open my mouth really wide and I get on there, I'm going to get lots of good milk and I'm just going to feel really good, because your breasts empty better when you have a good latch. If they are latched wrong, it's painful for you and the baby is not emptying your breast all the way or getting as much milk as they can, which can lead to a supply issue. Another thing is, it's hard to have a newborn. I would say your first 2 months are probably the hardest, because maybe up to 3 months if it's your first time being a mom. But it's really hard because the baby just needs. And you're tired, you're trying to get used to this baby, and the baby is just very demanding in that first span of time, and everything is new. You're trying to establish your breastfeeding. Sometimes the baby wants to be awake at night and just feed all night and sleep all day. And you might be looking at your watch like, oh my goodness, it's been 3 hours and it's daytime and the baby is sleeping all day. But I know for a fact that tonight the baby's gonna be up trying to breastfeed the entire span of time that we should be sleeping. So, I mean, it can get very frustrating, but most of the time they will get it. In that first 2 to 3 months, your baby wants to nurse often. Like, you might feel like, oh my goodness, didn't I just feed you? Eventually they will get to that, you know, 2 to 4 hours or so breastfeeding, but don't know what that was. But sometimes they are every hour, or, you know, sometimes they just want it. Want it. That's how you're gonna feel. They just want it. You, as soon as you put your boob away and you know, fix your nursing bra, the baby is like looking around for it again. But it's very satisfying when you see that baby get like what they call milk drunk, when they get so satisfied from your milk and they just completely fall out and their body is completely relaxed, and you know, you can just look at them and tell like, oh my goodness, they feel so great with their belly so full, and it's from my milk. Okay, I'm back. Sorry, my camera died, had to restart. I think I was saying about the first like 4 to 6 weeks or something that it's difficult when your baby just wants to nurse, but I just want to let you know that it does get better, and they will start to get themselves more on a schedule. You know, even with you feeding them on demand, they'll kind of put themselves into a schedule. My next tip is to get the right supplies. So my first thing that I have is, this is my nursing cover. They have them in lots of different brands, lots of colors, lots of everything. I got black. I think I ordered this off of Amazon probably. It says, I'll just spell it. How about BEBEAULAIT? I think I ordered it off Amazon. They had different colors. I just got black. But I just put this over my head, and it has this like neck part. Some of them have a bigger neck part, which could be helpful. I mean, or I could loosen this up some more. But you just put your baby in there, and you just kind of throw that over your shoulder, and you nurse your baby, and you can just look straight down and see. No one else can see in there except for you. I mean, some women feel comfortable just, you know, whipping it out and popping it in baby's mouth. So, I mean, do what makes you feel the most comfortable. But what I will say is, don't like choose not to feed your baby in public, and don't shelter yourself in your house, you know, just because you're breastfeeding. You can have the same freedom as any other mom, no matter how you're feeding your child. So yeah, my next supply thing is my pump. So this thing is dirty because it gets so much use like when I go back to work, but it's like it's a bag that's a pump. So I think this is the Medela pumping style. They have different types. So when you get it, it comes like this. The bag is the pump, okay? So you connect your tubes and everything here and you turn it on. It comes with ice packs and it goes in this insulated pocket right here. And it comes with the bottles and everything that's stacked in there, like 4 bottles and caps. It also has this part that you can hook to it to do, you can hook to the, I don't have my part, but you can hook it and you can do a manual suction. I do not use this. I had to use it before because I once left the plug at home. It was time for me to pump, so I'm like, oh shoot. But then this was in the bag and I just had to manually do it. So I was glad to have this come with the set, otherwise I would have been screwed. There are ointments that you can get, and they're a little pricey, like at Target and stuff. But when you are at the hospital, they have sample sizes that may not be that giant tube, but they have smaller ones, the same brands or whatever that you would see in the store. And so you can ask them for it when you're in the hospital. Like, you don't have to take your own tube and use it at the hospital. If you've had a problem with your baby latching on the wrong way or whatever, like still while you're trying to figure it out and your nipple may get sore or whatever, it does help. I don't really like to use it right before I put my baby on there because I feel like they're eating it, which is just weird to me. So sometimes I just put it on after to like just soothe my breast or whatever. Nursing bra or bra pads is a must because you will leak. Now they are annoying when you're at home and you're just with your baby. I mean, you might just be better off leaking on your shirt if you're not going anywhere, because I would only wear them when I'm like going to work or going out somewhere, because they get annoying when you have to get a new one and it's in the way and blah blah blah. A boppy pillow. I have a boppy pillow, but they have other brands, not necessarily boppy. You know, whatever kind of nursing pillow. Once again, it helps you be more comfortable and it helps support the baby, so you don't actually have to hold the baby up to you or whatever your position is. Your baby, most of the weight of your baby can relax on the pillow and you can be more comfortable. Next is nursing bras and nursing tanks. Now, I have gotten all of mine from Target, and when I'm home, I'm all like, right now I'm still on maternity leave. That's pretty much all that I wear is a nursing tank or like a nursing bra with a t-shirt, because it's so much easier. And it's so important for you to have something that fits you the right way. So after you have your baby, you have no idea how big your boobs are going to get. So it is kind of hard to buy the bras when you don't know, like once your milk comes in, how big your boobs will actually get, because your pre-bra size is not going to be what your bra size is now. Like my boobs are ginormous. Before I just had like regular nice big boobs, you know. Now I'm one of those girls, you're like, oh my goodness, like look at those boobs. Not in a good way. Some women swear by the sports bra style for comfort. I can't do the sports bra style because it makes me feel like I have weights on my shoulders that are like holding me down. It's just not comfortable. It makes my shoulders hurt because my boobs are so heavy when I wear a sports bra style. Oh, another reason it's important for you to have something that is comfortable and that fits, because you don't want anything that's constricting your boobs. Your bras that you were wearing before, you need to let those go for a while until you know how your boobs are really going to be, because if you're wearing a bra that is constricting, that's like, let's say you have the underwire or something and it's pressing on you, you can get a clogged up or a plugged up in that area, and that is painful. So about engorgement and plugged ducts, it is uncomfortable, and yes, it does hurt. And you'll know because, like, after you feed your baby, your breast should normally be softer. And if you have a plugged duct, you'll have a hard area of your breast, and it may be red, and it can turn into mastitis if it gets infected or like super duper inflamed. So what happens is, if the flow of all your milk ducts, if it's all coming down and somewhere it gets a blockage and is not able to pass by, it's going to create a lump wherever that is, and that milk is not going to be draining. So all the milk from the rest of your boob can still drain when your baby feeds, but right there it's going to be stuck and it's going to hurt. It's going to be very tender when you touch it, even when you don't touch it. So a good way to help with that is, like I said, wear things that fit. Don't wear anything that is constricting your breast at all. Engorgement, it's gonna happen, especially when your milk first comes in. You're gonna get engorged, which means that your breasts are just super duper full. I mean, sometimes you'll see like, you'll be able to see little lumps on your breast, and you'll see like the actual milk ducts, and they'll just be really hard and full. And the best cure for that is just to feed your baby. If it becomes unbearable, like if your baby didn't fully empty your breast and you still feel uncomfortable, you can pump, but be cautious that just try to pump just a little bit. That will make you feel like, okay, you can take it until your baby empties you out, because the more that you pump, the more you're going to produce. So if your baby didn't eat all that milk and then you go and you pump it all out to the very last drop, your body is going to remake all that milk all over again, and maybe more, because it thinks that you need it. So if you are like really engorged and you know your baby is really not eating, and you're staying with your milk just full all the time, you know, try to avoid pumping really if you can, but you know, if you have to, just remember, don't pump it all out. And for the blocked ducts, it's gonna happen. Just try to do whatever you can to let your breast be as free flowing as possible. Don't let anything constrictive hold them. Also, a way that you can breastfeed, I think they say put the baby's, either the baby's nose or chin pointed in the direction of the blocked duct helps, because they have the strongest pull from that direction. So just the tip that I use, and it really does help. But whenever you have some kind of issue going on, it feels the best just to feed your baby. Your baby helps you out, you know. A pump is not as efficient as your baby is. So on the subject of pumping, I could probably do a whole video on pumping and trying to get a lot of milk. But one of the most important things that I had to figure out from the beginning was to get the right size flange for your nipple. So this is the flange. This is the part that comes with the it comes with your pumps. Now my pump came with two different sizes, I think 24 and 27. So when you put this flange on you, your nipple, let's say my fingertip is my nipple, it should not be touching the sides. So if I already have to kind of stuff my nipple in there and it's already touching, when this thing starts to pull, it's really going to be tugging at my nipple. And you can actually see kind of like your skin can be left in this thing if it's way too tight. I mean, you'll have like a ring around and some of your skin will be in there. Yeah, and that can be painful to pump that way, and you won't be able to get the most amount of milk. So the first key, and if the 2 sizes that comes with your pump don't fit, they have more at the store and more that you can order online. And so very, very, very important to get the right amount of milk to have the right flange. The other thing that I do for pumping is I always do I do hands-on pumping. So you always have to massage and try to get all the milk out. If I just sit there like this and just hold it, I'm not going to get as much milk out as if I like actually try to work it out, and you really will get so much more milk that way. If you want to increase your milk supply without taking any kind of supplement or anything, the way to do that is while you're feeding your baby on one side, you are pumping the other side. The next thing that you do is when your baby finishes, so get all the milk that you possibly can out of that side, get all the milk out of this side. When your baby is finished, pump that side too until it is dry. And you can pump in between feedings. I mean, and it really will increase your milk supply. Plus, the more that you feed your baby, and also comfort nursing them will work also. My last and final tip is just to enjoy this time with your baby. Enjoy breastfeeding. It really is great. After you get over that initial hump, you'll feel very accomplished, and I mean, you're doing such a great thing. And it'll be trial and error with you and your baby, and every baby will be different. Even if you breastfed one child, the next child can, you know, will have something different. It's just a journey that you and your baby take together. It's special for just the 2 of you. So enjoy it, and I mean, I'm telling you, once you get over that hump, it will be pretty much smooth sailing, and your baby will be a breastfeeding master, and you will be very happy about it. So I'm very proud of yourself and proud of your baby. So I hope you guys found my video helpful. If you have certain questions, feel free to leave a comment and I will respond to you. Thumbs up the video, like my video, and please subscribe to my channel. I will continue to do some different mommy tips, mommy advice, and I also do family vlogs. So subscribe to my channel, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.